More life.
All right, here we go. We didn't get quite. We would start it, but I don't think it was streaming.
I don't know. I clicked the wrong button again. I guess I don't know. Sorry, guys.
We'll be in Hebrews 10:24. We looked at 23 yesterday, and
Yes.
about let us hold tightly without wavering to the hope we affirm, for God can be trusted to keep His promise. Now in verse 24 is where we'll be today. Let us, you and I, think. So we're thinking about this of ways to motivate one another. Now, not for what we think people should do, but motivate one another to acts of love. And here we go, good works or good deeds. And so it said, let us do that as we hold tightly to the promises of God, that God's keeping His promise, so we can motivate one another in that, about how that we can, to acts of love and good works. So what are those acts of love? Being there for people, helping people, feeding people, clothing people, but it's also more than physically about having their back. We talked about that last night in our men's meeting, about having her back, about not just telling people, well, you need to pray for, again, pray more, not pray for, pray more. And we do all, we need to pray without ceasing. Don't get me wrong, prayer is very, very key component to walk in the power of God. Don't get me wrong, reading the Word is. But sometimes people just need to know we're not condemning them, we're not looking down on them, we don't have a self-righteous attitude about things, that we're there to have their back, no matter what's going on. And then we can motivate them and say, all right, let's get some acts of love and good works or good deeds.
Right.
So what is acts of love? You know, that is one of the fruit of the Spirit, the first one, love in that. And what's good deeds, good works? Again, it's feeding people, clothing people, being there for people, listening, let people vent sometimes without saying you're wrong. Maybe they are wrong, but maybe they're not going to see it by simply you telling them that they're wrong. It's going to take God to show them, because a lot of times people will fight you tooth and nail and they think they're right, especially if they're using the Bible for a bat and things like that to beat people up with. So again, we need to motivate one another to acts of love, to make sure, and good works. And in Peter last night, we looked at in our men's in 1 Peter chapter 2, it said to be careful how you live among your unbelieving neighbors. And I asked her men, I said, what does that say to you? A lot of them said, well, don't drink, don't cuss, don't do all the don'ts. The church is really good about giving the people all the don'ts, but no do's. But don't do this, don't do that, but we don't really teach people do this, do that. I said, well, what if it was they didn't see us being hypocritical about judging one another and condemning one another, and we act that way with love and with patience, showing people grace and mercy like we need to be. We like people to show us grace and mercy, but a lot of times we don't show that. So, Kelly, what's some things that you use to help motivate one another to acts of love and good deeds or good works?
Well, I think I use how people have treated me in the past, and knowing that I don't want to be treated like that. And so I use my past experience sometimes to change the way that I look at people, the way that I view, even if I don't agree with what they're doing, and it may be totally going against the Bible, I can still love them and help them and guide them in the right direction. And I had an act of love done for me this morning. Brother Bob Biswell brought by a bunch of snacks for me this morning, just to let me know, because I am a snacker. I definitely am a snacker. But he brought
that was sweet.
Buy a bunch of stuff just to let me know how special I was and how thankful he was for me. And to me, that was just, I needed that this morning, because I have been struggling with that exact thing, about whether I really truly am doing everything that I need to be doing, or what, I don't know. I've just been struggling with worth and all of that. And the Lord is just, He puts the right people. I said that yesterday. He puts the right people in our path at the right time. And that was just really sweet of Brother Bob this morning to bring me that stuff. Just the thought of, and he said that, the Lord told him to do it, but he was obedient in that, because a lot of times the Lord tells us to do something and we aren't obedient in it. We say, I don't have time to do that today. I'll, text him tomorrow, or I'll take something by to him tomorrow. I'll do something tomorrow, and that tomorrow never comes. So when the Lord is telling us to do something, whether He's laying somebody on our heart just to pray for him, or He's laying somebody on our heart to go do something for them, we need to do that and be obedient in that. And I'm trying to be more focused on being obedient in those things. I know that Cindy Rush had asked Mike if anything about a cowhide, if he knew where she could get one, because her daughter Chloe wanted one. We had one, so I sent a message to Cindy this morning. They just came and picked that up. That made Chloe's day, and it was something really simple, but it made her day, and it encouraged her, and it showed her that people do love and care about her. Sometimes that's all we need to know, is that somebody loves us and cares about us. No matter if they agree with what we're doing, what our lifestyle is, whatever it may be that we're going through, that they still love us.
A little power click, we still live.
It still says we're streaming. All of our power just went out. So
Yep.
I'm hoping we're still streaming. It says we are. So, but anyways, just knowing that somebody loves you and cares about you, and like Mike always says, has our back. That's so comforting to know that somebody has our back, because
Yeah.
there's so many days that we feel so alone in what we're going through.
That's right. And just like we had the cow, it was on the table, didn't really need it, rolled it up and give it to her and thing. That can be, again, it's not just giving people, that can be an act of
Yes.
love, giving them food,
Right.
but giving them your time, giving them your ear to hear
Yes.
what they're going through, to listen to their problem. Not say, oh, here we go again. And I've been guilty of that, man. We get tired. We got our own problems, our own battles we're
Right.
fighting. And I really struggle with whiners. I don't like whiners.
I don't either.
I just, okay, let's don't talk and whine about it. Let's look for a solution. That's what the solution is, how we can motivate one another to an act of love, out of depression, an act of kindness, to good deeds. Let's go do something, because it's better to serve than to be served.
It's true.
And you get a greater blessing by helping somebody than people helping you. I have had people help me. Don't get me wrong, and I've helped people. So again, it's just looking for ways and thinking of ways that we set back. So when we think about something, we've got to take the time to set back. And sometimes God will put things in our mind, and in our heart to go do and stuff, and it's being obedient to that. So reread this 23rd and 20th verse together.
Yes.
I promise it'll help you. Go do it. Go be a motivator today. Go help people
Just
in ways
encourage
that you can
somebody,
do.
even
Exactly.
with just a smile, a pat on the back, or a hey, how you doing? Sometimes that's all somebody needs. It's just
Go be
somebody
their
to
cheerleader.
acknowledge them.
Yep. Go be their cheerleader.
Yeah, and sometimes that's hard for us when we're in a bad spot. But I promise, there have been times that I've been in a really bad spot, but I encouraged somebody else, and I got a bigger blessing out of it than they did. So
Yeah.
it's just serving the Lord the way He's asking us to do.
And sometimes, like I said, it's just the ministry of your presence,
Mm-hmm.
just being there. Well, it's one of the kids' ball games in the church, or whatever it is. If they're sick, hey, thinking about you, praying for you, taking them a meal. There's different ways we can motivate and show our acts of kindness. If we all do that together, because a lot of people think, well, that's the preacher's job, or that's this job, or Kelly gets a lot of stuff laid on her that's really not her role or job. She does it and does an outstanding job
Are you
of
talking
it,
about
and
yesterday?
stuff. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, there's just a lot of stuff that comes up that we deal with. But again, if we're doing it out of love,
Yes.
God blesses that, and God
Yes, He
moves
does.
through that. And He shows Himself through us many times over and over again. So God bless y'all. Hang in there. Hope you're having a great
Yes.
Tuesday. Again, we want to thank our sponsors. We'll get those on. Kelly will get with Doug and get these put on, or where they'll scroll across the
Yes.
screen.
Trying to
On
get
that,
that back
we
going.
had another guy set that up, and he's no longer here. So that we're trying to get all that.
Yeah.
I say we. I ain't got nothing to do with it.
I'm
so
going
I-
to figure it out.
I
I'm going to
can't-
figure it out.
And it'll get there. But again, we've got these: Donna Sheila Ferris, Bob and Gina Biswell, Howard and Janice Clark, Leonard and Debbie Spencer, Gordon D. Kennard, Genesis Home Health, Turnbow Trailers, Parco Tax, and My Tree Will Miss You, and Stacy Reese. Thank you guys
Yes,
all
thank you guys
for
so
coming on. We
much.
appreciate it. It helps us. Again, we're going to get some new equipment in here. The lighting a little bit changed up to make it just
Yes.
a little bit better. We've been talking about doing our podcast. There's a lot goes into them, because
Yeah.
I don't like to just do it, and if it don't sound right,
Right.
look right, do right. Live we get
Right.
stuff out of our control. Sometimes those podcasts we can tape and kick them out there.
Right. And it's getting everybody's time and getting organized to have
Right.
that, because Doug is going to have to be the one editing and putting it together, and he's busy, so it's just trying to get all of that organized.
Right, so appreciate all the men that come out. We was down in numbers last night. That was a small. It was still a good group.
Right.
I don't care if 2 come. We're going to have it.
Yes.
But I know some of our brothers were sick. Some of them had surgery. Some of them had to work. Some of them don't know where they was. Didn't text in. So thank you guys for coming out last night. We did have a really, really good men's meeting in that. It covered a lot of stuff last night. And had a lot of guys sharing. So appreciate that. Had some new folks as well. So appreciate that. Tomorrow we got our kids in here on Wednesday the 8th. Women, don't forget the women's meeting at 10:30. You want to talk about that?
We're going to meet in the sanctuary like we did last week. I'm just going to keep ours in the sanctuary because it's warmer over here. It's quieter over here because the multi-purpose building is, things echo and all of that, and it's just too loud. So we're going to always just meet over here. We do a little circle. So if you can come and enjoy that time and fellowship, I would greatly, greatly appreciate y'all coming.
So then the kids will be in here tomorrow night. Little kids at 6, youth at 7. You want to come help out? Vans leave at 5.
Right.
We had a guy say he'd be here to help ride. He didn't want to drive, but help ride. If you don't want to drive, that's fine. With just to
Right.
have 2 people on the vans would be great. So the vans leave about 5 to get the little kids here at 6. They drop them off, turn right around, go pick up the youth kids.
Yes.
To get them at 7, they drop the youth kids off. They load the little kids back up, and they head out again. So those vans
Yeah.
are running pretty much full time while we're having kids. If you want to come hang out, make sure the kids are getting from point A to point B. Make sure they're not out there
Right.
torturing one another on the basketball court or hanging somebody from the rim like they're prone to do
And we may have rain tomorrow too,
Yeah.
so it may be organized chaos in the gym.
inside. So we'll need some help.
Yeah, we'll need some help in that. We are going to serve pizza for them tomorrow because the older girls are going to be making breadsticks. So we're going to serve pizza to the littles and the bigs. So if you want to come help with that, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated.
Right. So come out, begin to help. If you want to come out tomorrow night, that's all happening tomorrow. Women's meeting at 10:30, then the kids will be in here at 6 to
Yes.
7, then youth 7 to 8. So come on, and we hope that you guys, again, if you want to come out, see what, if you just want to come watch, see what's going on, maybe
Yes.
see what's up. Come on, we'd love to have you. That's tomorrow night, Wednesday the 8th. So God bless you. Hope you have a great, great Tuesday. Again, out there, I don't think we're going to get no ice. It's going to stay above freezing.
Right.
If it had been cold last night, we got pretty good rain last night.
We
So
would
it
either
had
had
been
a
pretty
lot of
slick.
ice or a lot of snow.
So, anyhow, I thank the Lord for that. So God bless y'all. Remember,
Yes.
it's faith over fear, Christ over crisis, and you can remain calm in the chaos.